record us
Yeah, I
right
am.
now?
I am.
Are you recording us now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd like to know what you think about Benjamin Stewart there.
Ben Stewart. I
Yeah.
well, I've watched both of his movies that he's made, Kamatica and The Esoteric Agenda, and he's a pretty smart cat. He's definitely pretty well connected, I think, to the real world. You know what I mean? And seems to be wise ahead of his time. You know what I'm saying? Especially for
Yeah.
obviously a young man, but.
Definitely.
Actually, his work was some of the first work that I watched in that genre, and it probably is responsible for me, trying to become more aware and awake. So I just say that Ben Stewart's directly kind of responsible for getting me to begin to question things and take a look at the way the true nature of things. And
Blame it on Ben.
well, no, I mean, in a
Yeah.
way, there is a certain responsibility that comes with knowing these
Right.
things, and
And especially expressing them. Yeah,
yeah,
like he did. Yeah.
yeah. After information's been put to you in a certain way, in such a way as that you understand it, and it really resonates with you, then it affects you. You know what I mean? And it's going to change the way not only that you look at things, it's going to change the way you do things. I mean, I don't listen to some of my favorite music anymore. You know what I mean? Just because I didn't understand how the music was working. You know what I'm saying? Against me. But now that I can see the use of the symbolism and kind of, these guys pulling the same old shenanigans, every week with whatever their new thing is. It's changed the way that I let media affect me. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
so yeah, there's kind of a lifestyle change that comes with some of the stuff that Ben had to teach.
Yeah, I think the esoteric and agenda and the chromatica, yeah, they was definitely. I mean, because he put him in understanding. He put it out there so that normal people who haven't even looked into this kind of stuff, where you kind of at least get a clue and get a foothold and be like, huh, that is kind of interesting right there, which may cause you to go look into it some more and be like, well, he said that, but let me go look for myself. You
Right.
know,
Yeah, he
you
kind of
know.
invites you to even go, fact check him on things and
Yeah,
verify, which is what everybody. There's a couple people I've heard say this. Matter of fact, I thought about this morning. Yeah, William Cooper, Ben Stewart, Max Egan. I've heard him say it as well. And funnily, I forgot who I heard say it this morning. But they say, by all means, don't even believe me. I'm telling you things that might be uncomfortable to hear. You know what I mean? That might be disturbing maybe, but it's imperative that you don't take my word for it. In fact, I won't even post links because you have to look into this shit yourself, or you're not going to believe it. You know what I mean? So, and you can't really feel certain, you know what I mean, until you've proven it to yourself. But every great leader has always said that the best thing that a leader can teach the people that he's teaching is to not follow him and to lead, you know what I mean, and teach those that would follow them to also not follow, you know what I mean? So all the great leaders have said, listen, don't listen to what I say. Go out and verify it for yourself. Stop believing what people tell you. Stop believing what I tell you, and go out and look into this stuff yourself. So, that's another thing that Ben covered really easily. And like you said, he made it really accessible for people who are unfamiliar with, some of the hidden stuff that they'll subsequently get pretty interested in and probably learn about. But when someone comes along and tells you things are exactly not the way you think they are, and changes the nature of reality, you know what I mean, from a cause to an effect, on a fundamental level, that's a huge door opening. You know what I mean?
yeah, because he touched on so many different things, and from corporate signs to especially the money, with the federales, with them, and trying to decipher and break it down into what it really is and give you a good view of what we really do. Because I mean, we give so much money that it's just ridiculous how people don't come to an understanding and see that. You know, look on your check, look on your tax thing. Even though it's all in a computer thing, get a printout, look on there, and see how much you give per check to FICA. You know, to the feds
Oh
for
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, not for these great roads that we ride on. You know, for the toll bridges that we still pay for the broken down schools that we have all around, besides the privately owned ones. You know,
Hmm.
um, we just give our money away frivolously, but he put it in a way that we could understand that and see where it's really going. And then on top of that, through the history in there, you know, as far as the how it goes back, where money started from, and what the bankers have been doing with it, why it's like that, why we pay interest. You know, give you a good understanding for all these people out here that's sucking their life away and their kids' money away with these credit cards. You know, there's a lot of people that's involved with that and credit card debt, and we have school loan debt and all this stuff that we should already be paid for, without the interest rate, because we are trying to do something and putting back into society.
Well, everything's debt based just because there's a handful of greedy people that want money to be based on debt instead of inherent value. So, sadly enough, they pretty much control everything, though. So which yeah, it's an easy thing to say. It's a difficult thing to comprehend, but some of this work actually helps with absorbing some of that, because you're talking about amounts of money and levels of power that are unimaginable to normal people. You know what I mean? And so it's difficult to understand just exactly what these guys are doing. You know what I mean? And like I said, when with the knowledge comes the responsibility, and when you realize that this is an energetic level war, then it's going to change. It should change everything the same way that multiplying by a negative number changes all the numbers of negative. You know what I mean? Because it's like a fundamental change. Like it's a factor that's involved in the basic understanding of reality. You know what I mean? So if you understand that your intention is affecting your reality and causing manifestation of your thoughts, then you suddenly have a different motivation to change the way that you think. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a negative thinker like I was. I was a pretty negative thinker. I was always thinking about the things that I looked at it as realism. I always kind of like, I know how this is going to go, blah, blah, blah. And it was generally a negative thing. But now realizing, how things work, then
To look at it a different way and get a different outcome.
yeah, absolutely. Now, not only do I have a very big incentive to want to look at things in a positive way, but the more I can train myself to naturally react to stimulus in a positive way, you know what I'm saying? Then the closer I'll be towards achieving that goal, because it's one thing to be mindful of the need or the desire to change one's life. You know what I mean? And so in order to do that, you have to change your thoughts. And to change your thoughts, it's an easy thing to do if you're sitting around thinking about what you're thinking. But if you throw in natural reaction, or maybe you're in kind of a meditative mode and you're not thinking about a lot of things, you know what I mean? And then those natural thoughts come out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Those ones that just kind of sneak in there and you find yourself thinking about them. Those need to be positive too, you know what I mean? So you need to naturally be popping off positive thoughts that cause you the most excitement at all time, because it's the emotional state, you know what I'm saying, that draws the thought into manifestation. You know what I mean? There's definitely a vibration involved with the emotion that the thought causes. So
Yeah, and that was what was beautiful about, especially the Chromatica. When he went into that, didn't just leave you with like, okay, look at all the stuff that we have going on, but at the same time, look at all the stuff that we could have going on if people were to focus on what's going on, focus on their emotions, their intentions,
Right.
and change some of their belief systems. You know what I'm saying? To where it's more of a holistic for everybody belief, to where everybody could live in okay standards. And then everybody could, everybody would be more healthy. I mean, if shutting down the fruits and the vegetables and the vitamins, people getting arrested for selling vitamins, people getting arrested for giving out fruit to their neighbors. It's just, and people need to be aware of what's going on.
That's where
So,
this is headed, and it's kind of surreal, isn't it? That
yeah, it's almost
that
like a movie.
and people don't even really think that it can happen, and that's why they don't act against it. That's why they don't even know it's happening, because they think that it can't happen. You know what I mean? They think that, in America, it would be absurd for in America for me to not be able to grow a garden, but that is in fact a law that is in front of, or is going to be in front of Congress soon, and it's right there in the bill. You know what I mean? Now, we would think a person would have to be insane to even write a law like that. But when you understand their agenda, it's not that crazy. You know what I mean? It's just people with way too much power. And really, it's really a story of people who've given up their power to other people. You know what I mean? It's the individual. It's the story of the human, not really the Illuminati. You know what I mean? It's the human who gave his power away for to be influenced by these people, but their products and their stuff. It's a trick, to get people into the physical world and away from the spiritual world.
Yeah, we definitely have a we definitely have to have another talk about the tricks, because that's a whole nother topic right there. That's you know, man, as much has
Yes.
been pulled over the eyes, it's unbelievable. It's almost unfathomable. To the point
Yeah.
where you want to turn it off